Well, today on LSK News, we will be reporting on an earthquake in California. It has been really bad to the people and the ocean. Now to you, Lindsay.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Woods, reporting on the scene of this major earthquake of the Pacific Ocean. As you can see, the cracks in a Now back to you, Caroline.
Hi, I'm Caroline Westerman, and as you can see, there's a fault line right along here along California, and right here in Los Angeles, at Pacific Beach, there was a earthquake, and it caused a lot of damage. Back to you, Lindsay.
Thanks, Caroline. And now to show you the footage of what's happened since the earthquake, here's Tom.
Good evening. Once again, the dream of a good life in Southern California has taken a major jolt. This area is still trying to recover tonight from a major earthquake that struck early this morning in the San Fernando Valley in Northridge, which is about 10 miles northwest of where I am standing, and it did major damage throughout the Los Angeles basin. It was 6.6 on the Richter scale. 5 major highways have been cut, water supplies threatened, gas mains have exploded, a half dozen communities have exploded in flames, and the death toll has been going up all day long. We begin tonight with a big picture from NBC's Larry Carroll.
The quake struck an area where more than 1 million people live. So far, at least 24 people are known dead. Hundreds have been injured. Early estimates of property damage are in excess of $500 million. The force of the quake shut down power grids, plunging thousands of households into darkness.
The ceiling fell down. My kitchen is totally destroyed.
Gas lines ruptured and fires raced out of control in heavily populated residential communities. 5 homes were consumed instantly when this gas main exploded, sending flames 100 feet into the air. The blast ruptured this water main, but dozens of others were shaken loose by the quake, sending torrents of water into valley streets. The smog mixed with smoke from more than 50 fires, and the extent of the damage began to hit home. Dead inside the rubble of the hillside home were 2 people, one of them this woman's daughter. The quake was centered 10 miles beneath the campus of Cal State Northridge, 25 miles northwest of downtown Los Angeles. At least 1 fire was reported on campus, and 1 dormitory, home to several hundred students, collapsed. Most there were reported to have escaped unharmed. But students housed in this apartment building adjacent to the campus were not so safe. 12 people died when the 2nd and 3rd stories of the complex collapsed to ground level. Also hard hit, the freeway system that serves as many as 13 million people. 3 major freeways, all recently reinforced for earthquakes, were damaged and are closed to traffic. And then there's the property damage. Hundreds of homes and businesses are damaged, many beyond repair.
They don't have electricity, they don't have water, and they were just moving. And I'm just glad to be alive.
While not the most powerful on record in Southern California, the Northridge quake may well cause the most damage. Larry Carroll, NBC News, Los Angeles.
If there is a saving grace to this disaster, it is that this earthquake hit early this morning when many people were still at home, and it is, after all, a holiday. Nonetheless, a number of people are dead tonight, many more are injured, and many people, of course, have been severely dislocated from their homes. NBC's Roger O'Neill tonight on the fight for survival here.
That pile right there, the first pile you come to is where they're at.
It was a race against time all day long, a race to save lives.
I haven't heard anybody.
Hello, is anybody there? This is all the first floor underneath here. This is the 2nd floor right here.
Is he underneath us?
Yeah. Is anybody in there?
33 people heard the cries of rescuers at this apartment complex in the valley. But at least a dozen people were crushed to death as the 3-story building collapsed.
She's an old lady. It's just a foot sticking out on her cheek. Do you see it?
She's gone.
For firemen, it was a day of heartbreak, but also triumph.
You have somebody trapped in there, you just hope you can do the best to save them if they're alive.
Citizens responded to the cries of help, the cries of pain. Marco Pelias heard them after crawling out of his own apartment. He then helped pull 7 other people out of the rubble.
And the way they were screaming, you don't care about anything else, you just care about trying to get those people out of it.
At Granada Hills Community Hospital, the parking lot became a triage center. Several hospitals had to refuse the injured. Their buildings were too severely damaged.
But how did you get the cup with the piano?
What it's been like for you?
Hell. Absolute hell.
Most Most of the injuries were not life-threatening, cuts and bruises, but still so many were in need of help, many had to wait their turn. This 2-week-old baby got immediate attention from Nurse Jack Burns, who determined the bump on her head was not serious.
Nothing prepares for a day like today. Buildings falling down over here, people are all over the place, the parking lot staked out. Nothing prepares for this.
Few residents are prepared as they should be. Food and water becomes precious commodities. Electricity means gas lines. And pay telephones become vital links to the outside world.
Just tell them Scylla's okay.
For the next several days, city parks will be home for thousands of people. Not because their homes have been destroyed, but because this is perceived to be a safe place to be. There is still a lot of fear in LA tonight.
But for hundreds of others who were trapped, then rescued, tonight is a night to celebrate life.
Oh, that sky looks beautiful.
Roger O'Neill, NBC News, Los Angeles.
And I am joined now by California Governor Pete Wilson. And Governor, as we were just watching that report, we had another long aftershock here that lasted about 35 or 40 seconds. What can you tell us now about the extent of the damage throughout the Southern California from property loss alone?
Tom, we can't estimate what the property loss will be. It's premature to do that. Our concern right now is safeguarding human life and restoration of service. We are getting some good news. On the other hand, it is going to be probably a long night for a number of people. We will have the necessity, I think, even in areas where we expect to see a restoration of power, it may be a rather fragile structure, so we're urging everybody to have flashlights, candles. We're urging them to boil water. We've simply got to be prepared, and of course there has been damage, structural damage to the freeways. We have to assess how that can be repaired and what we can do by way of alternative routings.
Governor, you're beginning to preside over what is a permanent disaster area here in Southern California. With the fires and the riots and now this major earthquake, your economy is already in trouble. How do you begin to dig yourself out of this, given the economic dislocation that is bound to occur?
This obviously doesn't help. It will cost money. There will be disruption, particularly as it relates to some surface transportation, but already the California Highway Patrol is figuring out alternative routings for truck traffic and passenger traffic. Power will be restored. If not everyone, they will have it, I think, within a matter of, for most Angelinos, they will have, most of them will have power tonight. Some will be without water overnight. We'll get through it as we've gotten through the other problems, but it sure seems like we're getting more than our share.
Thank you very much, Governor Pete Wilson of California.
Between Tampa and the Jewtown closed. Westbound, of course, shut down too between Fairfax and Los.
For a city that survives by the car, this earthquake has struck at its very soul. Its motorways were empty this morning. 9 of them are cut in two, fractured, or simply too dangerous to drive on. For a city that has no rail system and 7 million commuters every day, that's a disaster. It's just after 8 o'clock in the morning, and normally these motorways would be packed with millions of commuters heading into central Los Angeles. This morning, they are almost completely deserted. Here and there, a reminder of how close some came to death. The lorries and cars will be destroyed when the bridge is toppled. At a major junction, machines tear away at a fallen strip of motorway, one punching holes, the other chewing the steel rods that once supported the road. The scale of the activity and the scale of the damage here is extraordinary. To give you some idea of it, this is one of the main motorways into Los Angeles. The earthquake hit and caused a clean break right along this motorway, with the other section just falling down on top of another road into LA. Looking like giant pterodactyls, these machines will have destroyed the broken bridge span in 2 days. The road beneath can then be opened.
It's just amazing how fast they've got the contractors in to take out the dead pieces of freeway. It'll be some time, possibly a question of months or even years, before they get the thing fully built.
Along minor roads, hazards and accidents, 8 lanes of motorway are being forced onto these roads. Most of these minor roads are fraught with difficulties. Motoring organizations say on some roads, cars are traveling at a speed of half a mile an hour.
because we can't get out, we can't get in, so we have to go way east to go west and way west to go east.
You have to go around so many different areas, and you don't know where you're going half the time.
Some lorry drivers are avoiding the chaos by detouring through the Mojave Desert. Once the world's busiest motorways, they are now being avoided at all costs, and the cost will be high.
Well, thank you, Lindsay and Caroline. That's all we have for today. Bye-bye. I'm Sarah. Today on Ella
That was it. How do we stop it?
Okay, ready?
Wait, how do we stop it?
You click the red.
Two little innocent children skipping to the seesaw, and then all of a sudden, an earthquake strikes.
Hi, I'm Caroline Westerman.